When grief isn't acknowledged, we don't just carry loss. Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 2, Grieving Something No One Acknowledges. Some losses don't get recognized, but they still change everything. This episode is for the quiet grief, the overlooked pain, the healing that begins when we finally name what we never saw. So, have you ever gone through something that completely broke you and no one even noticed? No one checked in. No one asked deeper questions. No one sat with you long enough to see that you weren't okay. You know what? This is right over coffee, where we sit in real things, the hard things, and the healing things. So let's dig in, guys. I'm so glad you guys are here today. So, because sometimes the hardest grief to carry is the one no one else acknowledges. Not because it isn't real, but because it doesn't look like what people expect grief to look like. There's no timeline, right? There's no clear beginning or ending. The moment where people say, yeah, that would break me too. Instead, it's quiet. It's the relationship that slowly changed until you didn't recognize it anymore. It's the apology you never got, but still needed. It's the betrayal that made you question everything. It's the dream you carried for years that just didn't happen. It's becoming someone new when you didn't ask to change. These are unspoken goodbyes. And just because they're not seen doesn't mean they didn't change everything. But here's where it gets even deeper. When grief isn't acknowledged, we don't just carry loss. We start questioning ourselves. Am I dramatic? Why does this still affect me? Why can't I just move on like everyone else? And why does it feel heavier than it should? And slowly, we begin to talk ourselves out of our own pain. So where have you minimized your own grief because no one else validated it? Because when pain isn't acknowledged, it doesn't disappear. It turns inward. And that's where isolation begins, right? Not always physically, but emotionally. You still can show up. You're still answering text. You're still at work. Smile, laugh when you're supposed to. We do all the motions. But inside, you feel disconnected. Like you're carrying something, but no one has the language for, if that makes sense to you. And maybe, just maybe, you don't even have the language for it anyway or anymore either. Because how do you explain I'm grieving something that still exists? A person who's still alive but different. A relationship that didn't end but isn't the same. A life that looks okay but doesn't feel okay. That kind of grief is one of the loneliest places to live. But in scripture we see Genesis 16:13, you are a God of seeing. A God who sees not just the obvious things, but the hidden ones, the quiet ones, the ones you don't even say out loud. You may feel overlooked by people, but you aren't overlooked by God. So what if the thing no one else has acknowledged, God has been sitting with you this entire time? Because sometimes the deepest wound isn't just what happened. It's that no one recognized that it mattered. No one said, that must have hurt. That changed you. I see you. And without that, we carry grief without permission. And grief without permission turns into silence. So, before we keep going, I want to take a quick moment to share something with you. I'm super excited. This episode is brought to you by Mains by Miriam. And if you've been needing a refresh, not just on the inside, but on the outside too, this is your sign. She's currently accepting full clients, offering full service color, cuts, and extensions. And sometimes taking care of yourself on the outside helps you start showing up differently on the inside too. I know. So, if you've been putting yourself last, this might be your moment to step back into taking care of you. It's located in Kennedale, Texas. You can call or text 682-417-4260. So go get your style on today. All right, let's step back into this together. So let's just take a deep breath. When grief stays unspoken, it doesn't stay still. It starts shaping you. It becomes more guarded, more cautious, more hesitant to trust again. Not because you're broken, but because something in you learned what it feels like to not be seen. So let me ask, where have you pulled back? Not because you don't want connection, but because you're afraid of being unseen again. That matters 100% more than you realize. It completely matters. And scripture says in Psalm 56:8, you have kept count of my tossings, put my tears in your bottle. Every tear, even the quiet ones, even the ones you hide, God sees it all. So let me give you something today that maybe no one else has. Permission. Permission, guys. Permission to grieve what others didn't acknowledge. Permission to feel deeply without explaining it away. To say that mattered. I want you to try something with your notepad. Name your loss. Not the simple version, the honest version. I didn't just lose a relationship. I lost feeling chosen. I lost emotional safety. I lost the version of me that trusted easily. I lost the future I thought I was building. Because when you name it, you begin to release it. John 1:5 says, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has overcome it. Your grief is real, but it's not the end of your story. And if you're walking beside someone in this kind of grief, don't wait for the perfect moment. Just show up. I've been thinking about you. I know you may not want to talk, but I'm here. That mattered. You matter. Because sometimes being seen is the beginning of healing. Who in your life might be carrying something silently right now? And what would it look like to truly see them? Just think about that for a moment. Not all grief is loud. Some of it's carried quietly for too long. But just because no one acknowledged it doesn't mean that it didn't shape you. So you're not invisible. You're not invisible, friend. Your pain is not too small, and your story is still being held by God. This is Right Over Coffee, and this is Unspoken Goodbyes. If this spoke to you, share it with someone who may have been carrying something unseen. And if you need someone to walk alongside you in your healing, you can reach out to me, elizabethkgreen.com. And you don't have to do this alone, friend. Bye.